Hi friends, fellow social workers, professional social worker from all over the globe. Nice to meet you all today on this online arranged by the IFSW. And Namaste from India. I bring you a story from India, a real life study, a case study spread across 1.5 decades where there was a need felt in a village school where the girl students were dropping out of the school as well as the percentage of pass were so low that set of people thought we should improve the performance of the school. And then it so happened after about 5 years, one of the students who passed out much earlier and went to the urban area, worked as a software engineer, he came back to his roots, saying the performance what we have done and our group has done, and he took over as a champion and he did further work for the community. So, from phase 1 a school improvement, we moved into the phase 2 a community development, and contribution reached 5 hamlets, 10,000 hectares of land. In part 3, we are thinking in terms of how we can support UN achieve the sustainable goals by 2030. So, hence the topic is it takes a village to raise a child, not a family, and as the child grows up, he develops the communities around. We also going to see in this is the genesis of the whole problem what we felt as alumni of the school. How do you interpret this slide? What is that? It looks like a progress chart, but are you really happy? Can you see the vertical column 3 and 4, that is the boys and girls. What is the composition of the boys and girls? And the last column is the marks obtained by the best student. In between you will see the fourth column, the number of people passed out of the total student. What more you can infer? Take a minute. See, till 2005, the ratio between the male and female children were abnormally low, and see especially 2005, what is the male children, how many are the female children attended the school. Is there a reason for that? If you want the reason, I think we have to go back to 1990, what happened in the village, which is still we have not done as a research. But then the Alumni Association felt we have to correct this imbalance, inequality meted out to these girl children. Here is the chapters of presentation. Phase 1 is the beginning, which is education for empowerment and equality. I have given the focus in view of the girl students getting that equality for first time. The phase 2 is by and large integrated, and it is slightly a matured phase wherein you do not cover only the school education, you worry about the community, you worry about water, you worry about the transport and how the product will go to the market, how people will achieve the economic status. And the phase 3 is the futuristic path forward. Friends, the basic foundation is the education. In this chapter we are going to see the education for giving empowerment and equality to the boys and girls and in the rural setup in India. See the literacy rate of my country. The dark blue is the better educated, and slightly lighter is a medium or moderate level of education, and very light color of the blue is that very low level of education. We have 3 census data figures here, that is for the year 91, 2001 and 2011. Probably if you are not able to see the screen well, let me summarize that there is a disparity between boys and girls, and as well there is a disparity between urban and rural. How do we remove this? Another perspective, let us see the literacy rate, the high and low of the country. If you see the screen behind me, we have the 1991 census in blue color and 2001 in red color and 2011 in green color. See, for the India the progress is so good, from 52 has gone to 64 and then to 74. It really looks good nationally, the rate of increase is concerned. However, if you look at the states below that, see the Kerala, Andhra, Bihar. Kerala is the southern tip of India, where 93% is achieved the literacy by 2011 census, Whereas my own state, Andhra Pradesh, where my school exists, the average education reached maximum is 67%. And there is a state below, Bihar, which has achieved only 63.82. Why is that some states are lagging behind, especially and more so the female in the rural area? That anomaly we have to remove by doing something further, going into detail of macro issues. The macro issues is not only the gender equality. The quality of education itself has gone down for various reasons. Now, how do I measure the quality of education has gone down? If somebody at the level of age group 6 to 14, if they are not able to do the maths, not able to read a text, not able to write few lines, it's very obvious that the education system has failed. ASER study says that despite the government spending in billions, probably around 15 or 17 billion fund, we have not reached in certain state this particular literacy level among the age group of 16 and 14. Is it because of the teacher people ratio, which is 30:1, and most of the school, close to 37%, are non-conforming to this 30:1. And there are schools of single teacher, probably about 10% of the school across the country. Added to that, we have the teacher absenteeism. I have 15% to 42%, 15% in Maharashtra and 42% in Jharkhand. And I am not going into detail about whether the teachers are trained continuously, adequately, but the output in terms of the students performing has come down. Now, can we go into the secondary school dropout more so from the local data around my side? If you look at in Andhra Pradesh itself, 26.83 is what the dropout it says. But if you look at three different states, district rather, Kurnool is 45%, Nellore is 29%, and there are some area where scheduled tribe occupy such district, the dropout ratio is 77%. The adjoining state, which was originally part of Andhra, has reached 22% school dropout. There is one district called Mahbubnagar, we have a percentage of 57.18. Probably there is a Maoist insurgency affected district and scheduled caste tribe population and scheduled tribe population. Probably their hamlets are quite interior, the reach is bad, accessibility is bad, and availability of school is bad, or they are required for the family cultivation. Having seen the micro level, now let me take you to my village, a rural India Jilla Parishad school run by the government. And the challenge here, the Alumni Association decided to take up and run, not start a new school. You are trying to improve a government run school where the teachers feel that you are interfering, although we are alumni walking in. That is the real challenge which we lived up. We adopted the children at the 6th standard, 94 children. And in 2005, when they crossed 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 72 people passed. What happened between 94 to 72? Some people left because the family moved out. They became migrant labor or they moved to the other village. But then 72 people wrote the exam, 72 people passed the exam. So, first time our notice board changes to 100% achievement of result. Despite the fact the socio-cultural economical factors does play a major role in terms of social, economic, cultural, religious, caste factors. It is very interesting. Can we have a general solution for all over the India? No. We should have intervention to reduce the dropout, should be a localized solution. That means we need a flexible, agile people and the social worker and the teacher and the alumni association to work together to achieve this. What could be the distraction? What could be the problem? Why is that some students perform well? Why is that some students couldn't perform that well? There are both school as well as the home. The so-called environment makes the difference. The student comes home from the school. What happens? Hey, get that cattle, feed the cattle, and then disturbance, and the parents do not understand what is that the child studied that day, cannot aid and support in terms of making the child revisit what he or she learned that day. And there is always a family politics, family issues, hostilities between the families or the neighbors, added to the TV distractions and fights, whether it's a cockfight, bullfight or family fight. Everything is spicy for the child. The temptation is so much, the child get distracted. Let's come to the school the next day. What happened? The teachers sometimes gossip, insufficient focus, inadequate reviews and feedback, because we are not having 1:30, the ratio between a teacher and student, not possible to really give the feedback. And sometimes the alumni association member also lose interest because nothing moves faster. Added to that, we have that Bollywood, Hollywood movie type, two villages, a girl and a boy having a fantasy, and the entire class is gossiping about it, and more so if they belong to two different castes. It is more spicy, and more so if they belong to two different political parties. We have a problem of the girl student dropping out, more so the girl student. What happens? More problems. What is the more problem? They are less likely to come back, they are less likely to return to education. They become vulnerable to early marriage. We are talking child marriages elsewhere in STG, we talk education in another STG. Unless an integrative approach takes place, see the catastrophic effect happens here. She dropped out, the people felt, oh, you are not doing anything, do the farm work, continuous dropout, stop the education. Somebody says, oh, let me hire as my daughter-in-law and she will add value to my farm. That is how the early marriages happens. So, as we had seen earlier, the poverty as well as accessibility and availability further build up the issue. So, how do we solve this problem? Let us also see what are the infrastructure problem. We forgot to add that why dropouts. The infrastructure plays a major role. The power cuts. Sometimes you don't get 6 to 8 hours power. So, how do a child does homework? Then the hygiene factor. A girl child need continuous water in the toilet or bathroom in the school, especially when they have their menstrual time. Such a water is not available. The girl remains at home for 3 to 5 days. Now, how do we improve this situation is a major challenge again. In other words, we have to break this barrier, we have to remove this barrier, we have to remove this hurdle to excel. So, we employed the social worker, go to the village, go to the hamlet, meet the family member, counsel them on the importance of the education, how these children can go up. Wherever the power is not available, we had extended them, we have invited them to come to the school, we have built a campus or living, and they could stay there and probably they can study, do their homework. Now, people are worried about the safety of the girl child. What do? We even offered a grandmother of each village to come with the girl child, stay while these classes are going on or where the self study is going on. It is like a night watchman in the cricket. The grandmother comes and sits and watches the granddaughter studying all through. So, we give a grandmother care, we give a home food, somebody brings the home food cooked. If necessary, if there is somebody sick, even we call a doctor to the school at the time. So, the place of study, the stay, if necessary somebody want to stay for the night, go morning, early morning to the house, that is also possible, because the school has the toilet, the school has the light, the school has water and the school has the security. Once in a way we do arrange a community lunch where the parents come, children come, alumni association member come, interaction takes place, we listen to the problem, we take the feedback, we try to improve upon. It is very important that we see this slide is a very critical and core of the issue. How did we change mindset we saw in the last slide by counselor? How do we do the transformation over years? See at the bottom of the chart, there were bureaucratic hurdles and robot teaching happened. Single teacher school, even otherwise, teacher absenteeism. Somebody comes, does some teaching, walks out. Tick mark. I have done the portion. Over. Some focus is given on the text, some focus is given on the maths. This is called the twin track focus, the blue color box says. The next level up, you see that we try to instill a basic discipline. We try to say the role of knowledge, how it would improve them. We try to transform the student and family. If you see the blue color box are joining, that is horizontal line 2. We try to involve them, a competitive sports spirit, bring the team spirit, play to win, play to enjoy. You need not win all the time. Participate. Participating itself is winning a game. Your mental physical and spiritual strength comes when you really play well. That extrapolate to your knowledge acquisition in the education is concerned. And the next one, if you see, it is important, we talked very early in our presentation, how do we bring the laggards to the high performance output. So, here we arrange by people who do not perform well, special classes, special teaching input by private teachers outside the school premises, outside the home premises, so that we bring them to the level. Otherwise, what I have not understood the class today, tomorrow you go to the next class, next chapter, I still remain 0, my fundamentals are 0 and I cannot pick up the next one, I drop out at the end of the day. That level of minor minuscule gravitational issues we have looked at to solve the problem. At the end of that, the highest level horizontal, we did a career counseling, channelizing the competency of the boys and girls to look at a meaningful study as well as what it would bring them the work. There was a feeling among the village students that everybody should become doctor or everybody should become engineer. We changed the mindset by telling, even if you are a chef, even if you are a fashion designer, even if you are a physiotherapist, fitness trainer, if you are so well in your job, you will be recognized, you will be earning well in so high in the society, you have a place. That is the real change of mindset happened. Ladies and gentlemen, while many times you hear children committed suicide because they failed in their education, this is the village, not a single child committed suicide, and all the child passed their examination. 100% result, 100% secure life. Isn't it a transformation? Isn't it an achievement in a rural school over a period of 5 years? Kudos to the Alumni Association member headed by Nagaraj Penumatsa. I talked about this change of mindset. I think let us understand it is a integrated approach between student, teacher and family and community. If we can do this, we achieve a daughter who becomes a wife for somebody, who becomes a mother. What a great achievement the change of mind brings in. Oh, here is a photograph how the social worker changed life. Me and my colleague Anita, we went around, met people. I did most of the counseling on the career counseling and the remote handling of the social worker Anita as well as the Alumni Association member. We really found pride in what we did. People are educated, youth have jobs for the competence appropriately and for their interest appropriately. They all add value to the production and services. So, they participate in the economic drive of this country, and mothers are safe, babies are safe. The education for the women students gave them how to take care of the personal hygiene. When they get married, how to take care of their pregnancy and post pregnancy. We care for people and we change lives, we have changed lives. A tremendous feeling of satisfaction. Having changed the mindsets and we feel proud, probably it is a time to list a small laundry list. We achieved 100% pass out, and state first came in the board exam. Harmony scored a 10 out of 10 GPA in 75 Jilla Parishad School, and one of the best person joined IIIT, International Institute of Information Technology Institute. Our children participated at the district level games, won certificates. Some children went to the national level, especially athletes and Coco. And the passion and responsibility changed the mindset and sustained it for the past 7 years. In other words, the same cycle continued from 2010 to 2017, the day I presented the paper in Shenzhen, and even now. Friends, having seen this phase, the next phase is developing communities. Now Lakshmi Narasimha has come from city and we are trying to add value. One thing, people are enjoying, people are behaving professional, they love doing what they are doing and they are passionate about it. It's all because of the competence and professionalism. I would say some of the students, or most of the students of the school are better communicator and better agile and flexible, adaptable, in par with the best engineering college students. Now we brought the drinking water, RO, reverse osmosis water. We brought the banking, ATMs, so anytime people can go to the field and anytime you can go to the bank and withdraw the money. Luckily, the federal government digital economy system helped us to bring this easily. The government participated happily with that. It also happened that these banks were able to give subsidized special loans for the crafts and artisans. We formed, Lakshmi Narasimhan, our village champion, formed 77 women self-help groups, partly supported by banks, partly supported by other investors. Women have powers to persistently and passionately work on economic activity to supplement the family income, which they are doing. And getting credit facility is not easy in a bank, although there is a scheme. Thanks to the mentor's profile, thanks to the mentor's credibility, it happened. Unless the agriculture, the other area which he improved, the agricultural intervention, the canal system which is started by British is draining the water into the ocean. What we need is some amount of small capacity to lift irrigate, lift the water, and he has done it to over 5 villages, 10,000 hectare. Counseling to see what best seed or best commercial crop or best crop is for the season appropriate, taking into account the fertility of the sand and the environment and the rainfall. Believe me, the proof of the pudding is on the eating, ladies and gentlemen. Our champion got the best award, Modern Farmer Award from the Prime Minister of India for the new initiative he has taken. You can see this photograph. A software engineer came back to village, couple of years, he did the drip irrigation, lift irrigation, covered 10,000 hectares, guided other farmers, and on 16 January 18 he got the national award. He was also chosen, partly funded by the government, to visit the Israel and learn the best practices. Most of the subjects in part 2, developing the community, is well known to you. We have seen everything: water, bank, self-help group, irrigation. Probably there were a few others like storage facility, road and other thing which I have not covered, but then we have done that. So the community is self-sustained as of today. Earlier part 1 we saw the children were self-sustained, school was self-sustained and they were able to maintain the momentum. Now the community is maintaining the momentum. Now is the time to give back to the rest of the world our learning. We found the sustainable development goals. There are 17 of them: no hunger, no poverty, health, education, decent work, dignity, everything, water, fish, everything is there. But tell me, can it work on a sustainable self-stand mode? If I am poor, how am I going to take care of my health? It's a COVID time now. The medicine costs one vial 5,000 rupees, close to $100. I need to take 6 vials. Where do I go for $600? If I am a 5 family members, $3,000 is not in my hand. So, the economic condition of the people have to go up if some of this sustainable goal has to reach. In a rural economy, a country which is by and large irrigation oriented, we have to make agriculture profitable. That is the only way we can sustain the sustainable development goals. So, one way out is the irrigation management. According to Lakshmi Narasimhan, he says we should have decentralized dams. We should not have a centralized one dam serves the entire district, not possible. By decentralized dam, what we mean is a reservoir, catch the rainwater, harvest the rainwater, store it and cover about 20 hectares nearby. You need more reservoir for drinking water separately as well as for irrigation separately. Probably the canal system was good enough at that time. The land covered under British Raj time was less, but we have covered more now, we have more population. What we need is piped water, sprinkler system, drip irrigation, lift irrigation, all that we need. And let me tell you, the government have to play a major role. The people alone cannot do this. The government has a role to do, that is build reservoirs. What more we can do? Having thought about this, we need to do at the harvest time, how to take the product to the market. Many times it happens that what you thought is the best product, at the time of harvest time it does not have a requirement in the market. The farmer loses, farmer dumps it on the road, farmer throws it into the river. So, we need to have, the initial thinking was we should have all season a storehouse, store it, when there is a demand we will sell it. But then your electricity charges goes up to store, your electricity charges goes up to keep it in a good condition, cool environment. So, now the best thing the village community thinks, we will not sell the product to people, we will send it as a finished product, we will add a value to the product, we will make it as a processed vegetable, we will make it as a processed fruit and we deliver it for ready to eat manner. In this process, the price, the marketing and the transportation, everything goes at a phased manner. In this process, we are taking the product from the farm to the home. But how will the homes patronize? How the respect for the tillers goes up? How the farmers get their recognition? And we should also understand their value system. The Nagaraj is on the left in the photograph and Lakshmi Narasimha is the right. Nagaraj great grandfather had done probably a century ago a dam, a construction for irrigation. Today the new champion is talking about new irrigation system. What is similarity? Generations apart, but irrigation still remains a common thread between both. Nagaraj says you are a trustee and not a owner of resources. Spend it well, save it well, take it to the next generation. Similarly, Lakshmi Narasimha says whatever we have today is because of society. So, giving back to society is not serving, it is my responsibility, it is my duty. So, I am not doing a favor to society, I am not doing a favor to society, I am doing a duty to society. Some of the moral tales, Panchatantra games, Panchatantra stories imbibe such values into Lakshmi Narasimha. Ladies and gentlemen, in this conference I have brought this story of India. It covers the school, it covers the community, it covers the future sustainable goals. My only hope is, like Bernard Shaw said, if I have one apple we share it, we get only half each. I have brought an idea, I have given the idea to you. I look forward to your idea, adding value to this idea. I want to go back with 2 ideas. I want you all to write questions and incite me. Let me share your learning, your input, your perceptions, your guidance, your suggestion to make our social work IFSW as well as my local Karnataka Association of Professional Social Workers and Indian Professional Social Worker Association, flag high in the community.